Hello, welcome to Why Cats with Andrew LZ. My name is Andrew LZ. I'm a Phoenix area comedian, as you guys have probably gotten used to by now. This is episode number 3 with one of my best friends, Matt Lawler, from back home in Missouri. And little background on him: he is a lawyer. He practices in the state of Missouri, and he's also just like one of the funniest people I know. Personally, he's not a comedian, but he damn well could be if he ever decided he wanted to try. And so, yeah, welcome to Why Cats with Andrew LZ with Matt Lawler.
Appropriately named, sir.
Oh yeah, Why Cats? Yeah, because why is this movie? So, all right. Hey, first impressions. What were your first impressions of the movie?
There was so much that I didn't understand what they were going for.
Exactly.
That's the really the overarching theme of the movie is why is this? Not what is this, why?
Yes.
Because I felt like they were trying to tell a story, and they did that. It's kind of like if you were going to drive from Chicago to New Orleans and you went by Albuquerque.
Okay. Yeah. I never thought about that. Yeah, some other shows I've listened to and watched have said the entire thing is just a series of introductions that go nowhere.
That's pretty accurate. My thought about Rebel Wilson's character. By the way, I've made up names for all the cats because I've already forgotten what they are.
Okay, I've got all their names if you want them.
Her character was so completely unnecessary and so delightful at the same time, which is kind of a Rebel Wilson characteristic, I guess.
Yeah, I love Rebel Wilson, she does her best Rebel Wilson in this movie. So I don't see anything wrong with her character, except there's no point to her. Her
value in itself.
Yeah, her character's name is Jenny Anydots.
That's right.
And it's just one word, Jenny Anydots. This movie, like as I've said on other episodes, has one of the biggest casts ever. It's got Dame Judi Dench, it's got Sir Ian McKellen.
Stop right there, and that's amazing.
Yeah, it's got Idris Elba, it's got James Corden, Jason Derulo, Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson is phenomenal in this movie.
She killed it
in the 3 scenes she's in. It's got Ray Winstone. It's got Taylor Swift. This movie, Rebel Wilson. This movie is huge by most standards, but is just a dumpster fire collectively.
And you mentioned Jennifer Hudson specifically. Those 3 scenes were the best 3 scenes in the movie by leaps and bounds.
Absolutely. So my first question for you, I'm sure I've asked other questions, but my first major question for you is this the worst movie you've seen?
Yes.
Yes?
And I tell you that by the fact that I tried to take notes for this during it, and I just wrote, what is this 27 times?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can just sit right there. I'll grab it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The joys of a recording in a garage as I get packages delivered during this.
Nice. For me, this isn't the worst movie I've seen, because I love bad movies. Bad movies are my favorite movies. But my question to you is, do you like bad movies? Will you intentionally watch a bad movie?
You're talking to somebody who is still rewatching the original MacGyver series over and over. So, yes.
I never watched it, so
you should do that. It's actually not as bad as everyone thinks, but it's exactly as bad as everyone thinks.
Yeah. Do you like musicals?
I don't, and I'll tell you, and I dislike this movie for the same reason I dislike musicals. It pretends that we live in this world where one person will do a random thing and then everyone all of a sudden catches on, and in the real world it's like, what the fuck is that guy doing?
Yeah, but it's all like I get musicals just because I grew up on them. Like my mom was a huge musical fan. And yeah,
I say I've seen a ton of them and I appreciate all of them.
Yeah, like I think Grease is probably my favorite. It's a ridiculous movie with some very troublesome lyrics, but other than that,
I That was the point, though.
Yeah. Did you grow but I think I didn't know this about you. Like you did like productions like in high school or college, right?
I participated a little. We didn't. I mean, my school was so small, we didn't really do much. But yes, I have done some theater acting. Yes.
Okay. Uh, did you happen to like any of the songs in the movie?
Uh, I particularly hated some of them, especially the first one.
Oh yeah,
I,
Jellicle Cats.
I am not any kind of cultured, so I have no idea if these songs were the same songs that's in the actual Cats.
See, I don't know that either. I still have yet to watch the original Cats yet, like the stage production.
Knowing how people rave about Andrew Lloyd Webber, I cannot fathom that he would have written something so non. I mean, you get a couple lines in a row that rhyme, and then something that doesn't rhyme, and then and none of it connects to itself, and you're just like, what is this? Just drunken rambling of somebody who did some shrooms and just
I think
put
it's a
stuff
lot of.
on.
I think it's a lot of cocaine. Personally,
It could be.
But you mentioned the first song. The first song, I believe I tallied it correctly. The first.
I was an hour in the movie before I figured out what a Jellicle Cat was.
Well, you don't know. Like, I don't think anybody knows what a Jellicle Cat is. It's just like what they are. They're Jellicle Cats.
I think of the Angelical Cat Choir of this weird cat religion, which, by the way, cats having religion is the scariest thing I could think of.
I believe they said the word Jellicle 66 times in that first song.
Great introduction. No explanation.
I believe I tallied it correctly. I'm gonna like tally it again each time I watch it until I get it absolutely down. But collectively throughout the rest of the movie, they only say Jellicle 62 times. So they say it more in that first 5 minutes than they do throughout the rest of the movie. But still,
I am somehow not surprised to learn that fact.
Still, that's 128 Jellicles in this movie. Yeah, I've tried to tally it before, but I just never able to keep up. But I think I got it correctly this time. But did you said you didn't like the first song? Did you like any of the other songs besides like Memories? Because Memories is obviously the best song in this.
The song between Jennifer Hudson Cat and New Cat.
Yeah,
where she walks out and tries to reach out to her. That was really compelling and fantastic.
I actually just found out not minutes ago that was the original song that was written for this movie to be in contention for best original song of the Oscars. That song was written by Andrew Lloyd Webber and Taylor Swift. And actually, the last 2 times that I watched this movie, that was my favorite song. Normally, my favorite song.
I really think it's the best part of the entire film.
Absolutely.
I thought that 4 or 5 minutes to me wasn't bad movie.
Yeah. Usually my favorite song is like near the end. It's Mr. Mistopheles, where they're talking about him being magical and stuff. I don't know. There's this movie.
What a cluster that was.
That song just gets me. It's just a fun song. They just repeat the same things over and over and over again. And it's just like there's no change to it. It's just for some reason I like that song.
It worked. I don't know why, but it worked.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever watch this movie again?
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. Unless I'm showing it to somebody, you got to watch this train wreck.
Yeah. I still have, I think, 36 more watches of this movie throughout this year. Yeah.
I don't have to say that, man. I'll pray for you.
Did you know that's what I was doing? That I was watching it once a week for a year?
No.
That's the whole premise of the show, is just to obviously talk with my guests about the movie and about how much of it is how it is a train wreck, but also to see the levels of like whether I like it or I hate it or I love it. Because right now I feel like I've got a what's the word? What's the term? Stockholm syndrome for my captor right now, because I enjoy this movie right now.
Well, my dad told me when I was younger that you need to find one thing and become an expert at it, and I don't think he meant this. So
I would 100% agree, because this movie Like I saw it in theaters. I took an edible and I went to go see this movie in the theater, and it didn't take. The edible didn't work.
Mm.
So it was the power
I'm
of the
very
movie.
glad I called you telling me that story, though, so that I could take an edible before I watched this, and I watched it in two parts, so I got to do it twice, which was great. As you know, I'm pretty new to that game. I don't handle it well, and it really made the experience much better.
Yeah, I'm still fairly new to it as well. Like I've only been partaking in the last like year and a half. So, um, but yeah, what was the most disturbing part of the movie for you?
Honestly, well, other than the whole thing, uh, the ears.
The ears, okay, that's a first.
And I didn't really put it. I really started. It really kind of got on my good side by the end of it. But you're not used to seeing that level of emotion in a human face. And it's my degree in undergrad was nonverbal communications,
Okay.
or my specialty in my degree, and you really don't realize just how much emotion those ears throw into what they're saying until you see it, and it kind of knocked me back a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have noticed the ears, like how they sometimes they'll just twitch, like a cat's does.
Yeah, I mean that part of it was really good, I thought.
Yeah. For me, I think the most disturbing part is usually when either Idris Elba is just fur. He's not wearing his jacket.
Dude, yeah, no, I was out. He is too naked.
There's also Rebel Wilson tearing off, like zipping down her skin suit. But what else? There was something else new this time that got me. When Ian McKellen is lapping up the milk from the saucer
before he sings.
Wait, and right after he laps up the milk, you'll notice he kind of rubs against the pole like a cat does, and then
Yes,
Mr. Mistopheles does it right after.
I really, there was a couple of times I thought that, because I watch everything with closed captioning on because my wife insists on it.
Okay.
And I really thought there was a couple of times that they needed just absolutely unneeded stage directions on there, like Nuzzles Catley or something.
My question to you, why did the second or third song in the musical, they talk about how a cat needs 3 different names, but they never describe why a cat needs 3 different names. They just say a lot of things about being a proud cat, but they don't explain why they need 3 names. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did not catch that. I vaguely remember it now that you say it. That just put that down in the what is this category, because I don't know.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about anything in the movie at all?
Yeah, the scene where they've talked to Old Deuteronomy for the first time,
okay,
and then it just breaks out into this like 4-minute choreographed ballet thing. Yeah. I didn't understand why they put that in there at all.
Oh, I actually enjoy that. That was a very oh, you're talking about the one with Jason Derulo or the one before that?
The one with Jason Derulo, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that's honestly just a showcase of the dancers. That's all it is.
And I kind of felt the same way during Taylor Swift's deal as well. It's just, I understand that she was introducing Satan Cat's big McCavity. That's it.
McCavity.
His big run up to, you're going to give this to me, but. Yeah. I don't understand why it took her to do that, and it was just like, we just want to put Taylor Swift in this.
Oh yeah, and then she drugs all the cats and everything with the catnip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just figured that was something that they all do. I mean, people have drug parties. It happens.
Yeah. What's it called? Yeah, there's a couple instances in this movie where it's literally just to showcase the dancers, and then unfortunately I wrote it down. They let people just go out there and dance. Most of it's very good, but they don't give them a chance to actually like go their full, like they're all on it. So, like, it's not something that anybody's going to want to put on the reel at all.
Right.
Yeah. So, At one point in the movie, Ian McKellen, like whenever they're singing and going into that room, the Egyptian, he just randomly goes meow 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 meow. Did you?
I did catch
And
that.
I'm like, dude, you're fucking knighted, man. What are you doing? And they just
I
focus
referred
on
to him the entire movie as Magneto Cat, just because I can.
Oh, gotcha. He is Gus or asparagus.
Asparagus. Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I thought that was a great cat name.
Yeah, it's a completely like I don't know. But as much as like I believe Grisabella definitely that's Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson cat. Yes.
Uh, as much as she deserves to be the Jellicle choice, don't you kind of feel bad for Gus? Like he's old, he has palsy, as he says, he can't hunt. When is his time, do you think?
Well, I mean, once they get rid of McCavity, it's clearly the next time. I mean, he's gifted.
Yeah. And then there's so much just random magic in this movie.
The thing that got me at the end, when she ascends into the chandelier attached to a balloon, I guess, and it floats off. I'm like, are they just killing this cat?
Yes. It is.
That's how she gets reborn. Is that she dies?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Basically, the entire movie is a competition to see who gets to die voluntarily. It's like Midsommar.
That's the worst thing I can think of.
Yeah, it's like Midsommar just with cats. I don't know. Well, don't you think Dante Bosco should have been in this movie?
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who that is.
You don't know? Do you remember the movie Hook?
Yes.
Do you remember Rufio?
Yes.
Rufio should have been in this movie.
That would fit. That's a good fit.
Yeah. I don't know.
What was the name of the cat that was the train cat?
Oh, he is. Oh crap! He's the only person I didn't write down.
He wins the award for best cat name.
He is of the railway cat. Oh fuck! You're literally. He's the only person
I have no idea how much of a burden and a curse that you have on you right now. that you're gonna walk around hearing those songs. I was walking around last night going, "Yeah, like cool cats." God damn it!
He's the only person I didn't fucking write down. Oh my god!
I would ask you the one question you don't know the answer to.
Oh, trust me, I know a lot. I think I've seen this movie more than the editors. Well, that's a lie. I've only watched it 5 times.
They watched it.
No, they were in the they were editing this movie 90 hours a week each person.
I gotta say, watching this movie, the content is awful. The execution is brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like. I obviously like the big thing is the uncanny valley is completely ridiculous. Do you know what the uncanny valley is? It's when things look way too real, and it throws you completely off. The uncanny valley of this movie is just way too ridiculous. It's like turned up to 11. It's because obviously you have the faces of these actors, but everything else is completely CG. But they've added the ears, but they still have like human noses. Everything is just wrong when it comes to
yes. The comment that my wife made was when Old Deuteronomy came on and wait, does she have cat paws and no one else does?
Yeah.
It's like, no, just giant hands.
Skimbleshanks.
Yes, Skimbleshanks. That is the greatest cat name.
Yeah. Some of my favorite names, like obviously there's Mr. Mistopheles.
That would be my second.
Taylor Swift is Bombo Lorena.
Okay.
No idea. There's Growl Tiger, who is Ray Winstone, the great Ray Winstone, one of the most intimidating actors to ever live, and he's in this movie. Growl Tiger, Rum Tum Tugger.
I got. Speaking of Rum Tum, whatever you just said,
Tugger.
Yeah, there was so much unnecessary, incidental, almost sexuality in this movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, especially Rum Tum Tugger.
Yes.
That's the most intentional one.
There was one point, I believe it was when, I don't remember his name, the gray and black cat that is kind of the leader of the group somewhat.
Oh, the one who's just constantly like leading Victoria around. Yeah, he's actually
one point when he's interacting with New Cat, and I'm like, if they start banging, I'm out.
He's like, I think he's the biggest unsung hero of the movie. They never say his name. The actor's name is Robbie Fairchild. The character's name is Munkustrap. They never once say his name.
I didn't think they did because I didn't remember it.
Yeah. But he's throughout the entire movie, he's literally leading the main cat, Victoria, all around and taking her to introduce everybody. So, and he introduces Deuteronomy. He introduces, what's her name? Rebel Jenny Anydots. He introduced Rum Tum Tugger introduces himself.
And maybe I'm way too deep into the storyline. I feel like we were learning all about this new cat and kind of seeing how the hierarchy in the structure is going to go up when old Deuteronomy finally dies.
Yeah.
Well, is that the unnamed cat's going to take over that? Mistopheles is going to move up. She's going to move up because they're people who are there to be there.
Huh. I never thought about that. About basically that guiding cat to take over for Deuteronomy. Though they said that she's been reincarnated multiple times. Like she's been around since Victoria. I know this story takes place, I think, probably in the 50s or 60s. And
I couldn't really play, but that's as good of a guess as I could make.
Yeah, but the milk bar really kind of throws me off.
That would have been right when Elizabeth took over.
Yeah. The what's it called? The milk bar definitely throws everything off as far as like dating it. But everything else, I mean, it definitely looks really, I don't know,
developed.
Yes. What's your overall takeaway from this movie?
Don't watch it. But in serious, if I have to make a snap judgment, which I guess I do because you asked me, if you're going to watch it under the influence and appreciate the good things that they do, because there are some things in there. Absolutely. And just try not to get caught up in the story because you're just going to ask, what is this, over and over.
That's a great takeaway. Honestly, I act surprised. You're a smart guy. But yeah, that's actually a really great takeaway from this. Would it surprise you that Steven Spielberg produced this movie?
No, he's I mean, all I have to say is Animaniacs, and you know that he's used to producing weird things.
Yeah.
And I think this one was probably, I think he probably signed on to this for the same reason a lot of these other folks did, is this is a classic piece, and having their names attached to it, good or bad, is going to be a credit to them, not a takeaway.
Yeah. What's it called? I mean, he is kind of obsessed with musicals right now because he is doing West Side Story, which comes out next year, which I'm curious as to how they're going to do that one too. Like if they're going to update anything, because the original's great. I mean, I haven't watched it since I was a kid, but
it's definitely a period piece.
Yes.
As this one is.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, anything else you want to talk about the movie? I mean, anything that that you liked that you want to talk about, or really hated that you want to talk about?
Can we talk about Jenny Anydots grabbing that one cat's extremely long tail and singing into it like a microphone?
That was
really weird.
That was her own tail.
Oh, that's stupid weird then.
She pulled it through her legs and used it as a microphone.
There's no phallic symbolism there.
No, not at all. The worst part about that scene is whenever she does take her skin suit off, you'll notice at the very end, their hands attached to it too. So it's not like it cut like that skin suit attaches at the
It's not like a
wrist.
cuff.
Yeah, it literally like you see
So
hands.
she's wearing footy pajamas.
Yes, it's it's so disturbing. I
I
gotta
did
say,
not notice that. I kind of want to rewatch it just to see that.
what's it called? A standout performance that I like is as far as comedy goes in this movie is definitely James Corden though.
That was a surprise to me.
I really like James Corden. His character's name is Bustopher Jones. But whenever he is like they're trying to catapult.
He just stops.
Yeah, and he berates them. And I said this on the last episode. My favorite thing about that scene is whenever they try and catapult him up, and he says, "Obviously, that's not going to work. Look at you and look at me." And then he's just berating them, and he says he kind of looks straight down the barrel of the camera, like he's regretting everything he's doing. And then he quickly just goes back into character and like he licks his paw and like brushes his ear. But like he breaks the fourth wall for a second, and then
there was another point where they kind of broke the fourth wall too.
Yeah, he kind
of at the end of the movie when they're on top of the lion, Judi Dench is she talking to us or everyone?
I think she's talking to us.
I think so too.
And it's jarring because like she does it and then they go to singing again and then she does it again. That's the worst part, is the fact that she does it twice.
I felt like I was being lectured on how to treat a cat from a cat, and that made me uncomfortable.
Corden also makes a really good joke whenever the Ray Winstone is like trying to intimidate him, and he's like he's the he's the something of the Thames, and he's like, you can't do that because it's not the River Thames. You can't just change the name of the river because for your rhyme it has to have reason. And then obviously like Growl Tiger just like kind of scratches him or whatever and everything. But and whenever
and that kind of ties back into the rest of the songs, in that you get a couple of lines of rhyme and then it doesn't rhyme at all, and you just feel like the writing was not there.
Yeah. Did you catch whenever Idris would disappear, he'd do a quick little meow?
Yes.
It throws me off every time because I think it's the funniest part of the movie.
It's so very out of place for his character.
It's out of place for him because he's one of the best actors. He's one of the best looking guys in the world. And just he's so underutilized and so awful for this movie.
Yeah,
he's way above this movie. So are everybody
I think
else.
The problem is I didn't really understand what his character was doing until he angled to be the choice.
Oh yeah, and he was just taking everybody out just so that
I thought he was just being a jackass.
Yeah. Though he is wanted for everything. I'm not sure if you caught that at the very beginning.
I did.
And what's her name? Taylor Swift even says that he's broken every human law. Yeah, he cheats at cards, but he's broken every human law. Where is it?
That's kind of disturbing too.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know about human laws.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what I was gonna like make a joke like as a lawyer, what would you do like as a case against this movie? But I think that's a stupid thing. Do we have any?
I would certainly I would certainly claim negligence for wasting some of my life.
Well, let's not do that to me though. At least
no.
This is for the purpose of entertainment. This movie was intentionally intended for entertainment, but it failed. So
it did. It definitely did. And like I said, there are some bright shining spots to it, but overall, if your movie doesn't have a compelling plot, you don't have a movie.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that you want to bring up before we call this we come to a close?
I think I've said all I need to say.
All right, man. great seeing you because I mean, like I said, he's
You too, buddy.
This is Matt Lawler. He's one of my best friends in the world. Unfortunately, we live about 1,400 miles away from each other. But whenever this whole pandemic thing is over with the vaccine and everything, I'll be sure to come home and I'll give you a big old hug. So,
sounds good, buddy.
And then I'll sing one of my favorite songs from this movie to you. I'll just like run around your house dancing, singing one of these songs. It'll probably be the Railway Cat
please
song.
Do that.
It'll be the Railway Cat song because that was your favorite.
Skimble Shanks, yes, for the win.
Skimble Shanks, absolutely. I'm gonna hashtag Skimble Shanks for this. So it comes out on Friday. So we'll have it all uploaded then. So all right, man. I love you, buddy. I can't wait to see you
too,
again. Man. And be your best jellicle self, man.
Have fun with the next 36.
I've got a great guest next week, is Phoenix area comedian Ben Kaufman. So I'm excited to talk to him about this. And like I said, this was Matt Lawler. So a big round of applause for Matt Lawler for watching this movie and enduring it. So, all right, man. I'll see you later, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.